Hello and welcome back to the Space Between Ideas. I'm Blaine Gates. What the Space Between Ideas logo is all about, Space Between Ideas endeavor, is to say, look over here, right? Hey, look over here. We're talking about the ideas inside of the book, Create Crucial Insight. One of the ideas in the book is that there are 4 feelings that people have when they're working. One of the feelings some people have is red. And usually these people, they don't technically put in many hours for physically, emotionally, mentally regarding certain types of work. We have to help them to kind of find something where they can explore their passion. What can you do that will enable you to put in more hours? When we move to yellow, people put in a few more hours than before. And as they put in more hours, then of course they become more proficient. And as they become more proficient, eventually they start getting more competitive. SBI, Space Between Ideas, this is competitiveness. Some people, they figure out how to use all of the key concepts in the book, Create Crucial Insight. And then at some point, they just maintain this high level of competition, but they just slow down. Usually people they move on to the next endeavor. The whole idea of an endeavor cycle is that you are going to get a job done, you get the work done, you get paid, and then on to the next job, whether it's as big as a company going public or as small as a task. That's Space Between Ideas. It's the completion of tasks. And it is the ability for someone to go from zero to hero. Create Crucial Insight. Buy a copy today. Half-baked ideas. I just want to continue on with what we were talking about last time because I feel that it's important. Let's start framing the issue so that we magnify elements that motivate. Go to the very last word of the sentence. The last word is motivate, all right? So we want to understand, is there a verb connected to that? What are we going to do that motivates? Elements that motivate. What do you mean elements? Magnify elements that motivate. Elements. Probably that goes to the state purposes book. I have a playlist called State Purposes. Turn them into just simple verb-noun combinations. I didn't add the nouns here. Well, let's take an example because I did add the nouns for this one. Number 1, condition of resources you have access to. What is it that grasps the motivation tentacles inside of your body? And then they go, well, I don't know what they do, but something like that maybe. And then you're like, whoa, let's do something. The argument is that if you can stimulate motivation centers, then you're going to increase the amount of time people are doing work. Here, the good doctor identifies some motivation centers. For example, a verb-noun combination. And why are we doing verb-noun combinations? Because there's a lot of information in a verb and a noun when you combine them. Deploy resources. It's some people like it, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. Other people, they like to send packages, UPS drivers. They like to deploy resources. Maybe a pilot to deploy resources. I don't know. Let's just go to the definition. Skills, data, entities, reputations, loyalties, funds, infrastructure, and time. And the thing is that I'm actually kind of hiding the fact that this one line is actually, there's a secret there. For example, here. So when we shape potential, it means to involve resources. And it's like, what do you mean resources? What do you mean? It's literally a book of methods. It means to be an element that motivates in this exact behavior. I am motivated by elements such as deploy methods. Where did you get your methods? The methods is this book. And what are you doing? I'm deploying this method. How are you deploying this method? I'm practicing the ideas on worthy subjects. And then I am expressing the ideas in a video format. Seems to like doing that, huh? Yes. Magnify. Oh, what do you mean magnify? So we're actually talking about the same thing. We're talking about the elements that motivate. So, okay, so go to this and then just make it bigger. Okay. Oh, okay, so now what they're saying is they want to know what specific methods, right? Stop focusing on the verb and now let's focus on what do you mean methods? What do you mean methods? Framing the issue so that we magnify elements. Okay, there we go. It's saying that framing an issue, we should be framing the issue, which means you're just using a magnifying glass. Imagine that your magnifying glass, the metal part is the frame. And then what you put in there is an issue. And then when you, exactly. So what's the issue? The issue is methods. All right. Now, if you can see the outside here, so imagine that this is a frame. Maybe I could actually make a frame. But why would I want a frame on this page? These are not methods. Okay, how do I frame the methods? Where's the list of methods? Okay, there's a list of methods in here, the table of contents. All right, now which method are we talking about? Well, we finished talking about understanding Fogg's motivation model to some extent. We talked about avoider and seeker in the last video. And now we are talking about understanding the concept level of success. That's not true. Ooh. There, I found some potential that needs to be shaped. You need to fix your table of contents. Success. A half-baked idea. Now I'm just confused. I have no idea where I am. Anyways, let's just talk about this and then we'll be done. This is a short half-baked idea. All right, so on the left side, push away from Canada. This is a story. So the question is always like, why did you leave Canada on January 3rd, 2003? And it's like, well, on the one hand, there was a stick, right? So a stick, it's like, it's not things that are grasping me, because grasp, it's not the right word for when you get hit with a stick. What's happening is there are elements of behavior in your life that you do not enjoy. And then you're, because like if you're a dog and then I have a stick and I swing the stick, what does the dog do? Get closer? No, they run away. So that's the whole thing. What pushed you away from Canada? A stick. Oh, okay. So what you're saying is that motivation has two different framing. No, you're saying that motivation has two different parts to it. I mean, yeah, so if you go back to the last video, I was saying my theory of everything is that there are forces which push things together and there are forces that pull things apart. And so in this case, we're talking about the forces which pushed me out of Canada. And then on the right-hand side, pull toward China. So there were other things in China that were pulling me that way. And it creates a space. Choice. Why did Blaine leave Canada when he was 23? That should be 23. And move to China and live in China for 10 years. And then, of course, you can put the items. Like, what are the things that were so terrible for you in Canada that you did not want to experience? And then on the other side, you have pull toward China. So what is it that was so nibbly delicious that you wanted to do this in China? There were some surprises. I mean, I never could have imagined that sometimes things take a really, really long time to develop an appetite for. For example, Chinese food. When you first go to China, there's two issues. The first issue is all the oil. Oh man, there's just oil and more oil. And all the food just tastes like oil. And all you can taste is oil and it's oil and it's more oil. And it's like, man, every single meal. And then suddenly, one day, the flavor of oil disappears. I don't know why it happens, but it just disappears. You just don't even taste it anymore. You can only feel the heat and then feel the texture and then feel the explosion of flavor in your mouth and then your physical reaction to that flavor and then the heat of the thing warming your body. And they just have many, many, many different types of experiences like that. And it's just so vast over the whole country. And every meal, you're just running around outside. Any kind of person who's willing to make food, it's like, rah, 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 rah. You feel like a wild animal because food is literally everywhere and you're just eating all the time. It's crazy. The other problem is something called hot pot. And this is so there's a boiling pot of water and then you cook the meat and then you eat it and you cook the meat, but you're boiling it right in front of your face, as much boiling as you want, little or more. And then that's it. That's the game. So, of course, my first time, I'm just like, in 5 minutes, I'm done. I'm full. Okay, I'm good. And everyone's like, what? They're taking off their coat. And Yeah, because I was in Changchun. I was in northeast China. It was really, 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 really cold in the winter. And then, like, it's like, because it's a social thing, it's like a 2 hour process. And what you do is you do not eat at the beginning. You just watch other people and be like, wow, you're really good at using chopsticks. And oh, how's your family? And oh, what's going on in your life? And yeah. And then they're like, why aren't you eating? It's like, we got time. We got 2 hours, man. Come on. I could just wait for 15 minutes and it wouldn't even put a dent on 2 hours. So there you go. I don't even know what that takes us because it's just a half baked idea.